look away from the train wreck. You can blame it on the tech or the disrespect. The free play, better button check. Button check.
What is up, Butt Check family? Welcome back to yet again a beautiful day, a beautiful weekend of buttons that need to be checked. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm still kind of under the weather, but I'm here, baby. I'm here checking these damn buttons. So chapters, links, all that good stuff down below. We got two hot ones today, so we're about to cover it. Without further ado, let's get these buttons and let's go. All right, now into them first setup. I have never seen so many cheaters at a tournament buttons that need to be checked, and that was a direct quote, but you guys will see that in a second. So we had the LCQ over at the EWC. We're talking about the Esports World Cup. We are back once again, but this time with some Tekken 8 action. Well, apparently there was some feelings being caught, some rules being broken, but before we get into that, here are the ones, I think it was 4 that qualified. Check out the clip.
That's the, okay, this time using the death fist. Oh my God. Gets the float, gets the wall. Oh, the tornado at the wall, and that's a wrap. New Mon counter hit. You not only punched your ticket for EWC main event next week, but you won the LCQ. And now all eyes on this guy as we enter the fray next week.
It's Numan, Kudans, Kakoma, and Casimir, your top 4 finishers here at the LCQ.
Man, Numan, today, it felt like from the time we opened the broadcast, it felt like a guy who knew this is my event.
Then from there, we got a lot, and I mean a lot of players confused and frustrated talking about, hey, how come only certain players were allowed to have coaching? And when they were having coaching, it was like against the rules, because I guess the rules say you could only have like one coach or be coached during one match after you lost a set, but there's stipulation to that. We'll get into that in a second. But either way, they were like, yo, these guys were clearly breaking the rules, and some players were saying, how was I denied? Like, I was actually denied coaching while others were doing it in 4K. Either way, let's unpack, let's go. Right here starting saying, I have never seen this much cheating at a tournament. This was from Buffalo Soldier, who is one of the competitors, has over 400 likes. Others actually took the damn picture saying, yes, you're right. Coaching after winning a game shouldn't be allowed. Going deeper, saying, can TL start doing something mid-set coaching and coaching on a win, please? It literally happened on the stream. Others respond saying, this Dawood got coaching on a win versus Tetsu, and Quasum got coaching on a win versus my brother, Buffalo Soldier. This is not normal for such an important tournament. And they said, yes, they were surprised too, because they saw it happening on the stream. Then you got the damn coach in the picture right here saying, I only did it because I saw every Pakistani doing it before, but when I do it, I'm a bad person here. P.S. Pakistanis were coaching in between rounds, which is worse. Others respond saying, were all the rules the same? You can see, is EWC same as the TWT? And they say, yes, one coach after a loss. Then they actually post the damn rules. I'll put them on the screen right here so you can see it's outlined clearly. Right here saying coaching is allowed one time for 1 minute per match. It's only when losing the previous game. Coaching must be named before their matches, or coaches must be, and coaches are not allowed on stage next to their players during a match. Well, you can see some people are feeling some type of way because I guess some were denied, like Akuma right here saying this whole EWC coaching rule thing. I need to add that I was denied any coaching by a referee after I lost my match in the set on day 1. I'm not sure if there was a communication issue or they changed the rules, but yeah, it's not great. And others are like, they didn't even know the rules themselves. So this whole thread is like, we were pretty damn sure that they didn't know the rules themselves because it was kind of chaos. You saw a lot of it. Akuma responding saying, this is EWC. This is not okay. And they're like, yeah, management messed up big time. And others are like, for future events, there should be more TOs on site to enforce the rules better. I had to call somebody out midway through my own match, not to coach my opponent during the match itself. Sadly, it's been happening throughout the whole event. But then you got some that actually agree with coaching, saying coaching should be normalized. People should be adaptive and let the game and competition grow. Underneath that saying, ignore this guy. And yes, you're right. It is so annoying to watch, should be completely banned, even to watch the Pakistani players do it. And there you have it. So it looks like it is the Wild Wild West. You know, EWC, we kind of talked about this, with Fatal Fury. Some players spoke out saying they had some particular worries or concerns about the whole experience. Then I got contacted personally by some people that were there on the opposite side saying, no, I mean, it's not all that bad. We had a great time, and we're also just trying to be a part of the community. EWC is fairly new. They're like the new kid on the block, so to speak, compared to everything else, but they got they're the fucking Richie Rich kid on the block, you know what I'm saying? So it's growing at a rampant pace. Clearly here, looks like they are either short-staffed or maybe short on the knowledge as far as like what the rules, because everybody was just coaching. But then that brings into the question, the age-old debate that we've had many times, should coaching be allowed? A lot of people are like, it's bullshit, because if I'm playing you, I'm playing you. I'm not playing you plus his knowledge and her knowledge. No, that's not fair. Especially when you got the coaching and I don't got no coaching. That's bullshit. And the others are like, well, everybody should have a coach, because like boxing, like so many other sports, fucking football, whatever sport you can think of, even if it's one-on-one, you usually have a break. You usually have some type of coach. But then goes into the debate of, well, not everybody can have a coach. Not everybody wants a coach. So at that point, isn't it unfair? You're getting this new tech, this new meta, this new game plan from somebody outside of your own brain. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody else is technically helping you play this guy. So I can clearly see how player one or player two would be like, bitch, is it me against you or me against your whole squad? So I don't know. We'll see. Congrats on the I think it was 4 that qualified for the LCQ. EWC Tekken is going on this weekend. How do y'all feel about coaching, man? At the end of the day, you clearly see a lot of people calling it cheating. They're like, there's so much cheating and they're getting away with it. And it's EWC. It's fucking huge. Why do we not know the rules? And why is this not enforced? We'll see what happens. How y'all feeling? Let me know. All right, now into the next set of Ed Boon giving an actual update for MK1, and some saying MK1 over is the successor to Street Fighter 6. Buttons that need to be checked. All right, so first off, we're just gonna cover some of what Ed Boon just posted. He either did it early this morning or late last night, but either way, he did a weird, like surprising update talking about, hey, we're still here. We just made some more balances. We want MK1 to be like the most balanced MK1 or most balanced MK ever, if I'm getting that correctly. We're about to read it, so let's cover this first. Right here, Ed Boon saying 1 out of 7. A lot of Mortal Kombat related news recently. Let's start with MK1. With over 6.2 million games sold, we're still committed to refining MK1 to be our most balanced game. Check out the video for the details. The balance patch was released today, and then you see the video. Obviously, most of you seen it, but we don't have time to go over all of that. It's like 7 minutes long. Link down below though if you guys want to check it out. He continues on saying 2 out of 7, but we still want to hear from you. What 4 fighters do you feel need buffs, and what 4 fighters do you feel need buffs the least? You already know a lot of people are gonna have some responses to that. But anyway, continuing past that, he says Evo results, thanking Sonic Fox and everybody underneath him. You see Nicholas and whatnot. Continuing on, saying favorite Evo moment, so we're not gonna really get into that. Closing final combat, next competition. What is that? Versus fighting, August 15th through the 17th. Final combat, September 26th through the 28th in Mexico City. And let's continue on, because down below, right here, he starts taking a poll. Your feedback. MK11 had 12 DLC fighters split into 3 combat packs. We had 6 fighters, combat pack 1, 3 fighters, aftermath, 3 fighters, ultimate. But then M1 had 12 DLC fighters split into 2. And then we see some content creators actually having responses to that. But also I found it interesting because I was checking out, I believe his name is Kenny Baum. I'll put his link down below so you guys can check him out. He covers a lot of the NRS news as well. He weighed in on the whole thing, why he thinks it's very important that we vote a certain way, but also makes the statement that no matter how much shit you talk about people not showing up to the tournaments for MK1, it's still over Street Fighter 6. It's its successor, if that makes any sense when it comes to the money. Let's check out the clip.
So based on Google, these are the most recent numbers we have, and it shows this was reported on June 12th of 2025. So Street Fighter 6 has sold over 5 million copies. Now Capcom did the unthinkable and they went for the Gooners. They released some crazy swimsuits for Chun-Li, Cammy, and Kimberly, so I'm sure those pushed quite a few units. But as we know right now, Mortal Kombat 1 is still #1. But we got another dog in the race, or do we? because the last report we have shows that Tekken 8 has sold over 3 million copies. So it looks like Mortal Kombat 1 is still on top. No matter who tells y'all Mortal Kombat is not successful, Mortal Kombat 1 was appealing to more players. I don't care who shows up for the tournaments. What matters is what game has the most sales. Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8 can go as long as they want. If they don't pass Mortal Kombat 1's numbers, then Mortal Kombat 1 is the winner. But let's get back to it.
All right, how y'all feeling about that? It's like, I don't care who shows up to the tournaments. Street Fighter 6 and Tekken can go as long as they want. But if they don't surpass the sales for MK1, MK1 is the winner. That's a hard pill to swallow, because right off the bat, you're like, how the fuck does this math be mathing? Because it does. I mean, on paper, fucking MK1 sold, what, a little over 6 million. Street Fighter 6 is on track to be the highest selling Street Fighter of all time. It's not right now, I don't think, but it's on that it's on that pace. I think it's only a matter of months before Street Fighter 6 catches up. It's only selling more. MK1, I doubt that it really sells that much more. It's pretty much stagnant at this point. It'll sell a few here and there, but it's not going to have like new leaps and bounds. Street Fighter 6 is. It's going to continue to grow. So I think it's only a matter of time before Street Fighter 6 actually beats out this version of MK. Now, with that being said, fucking the last one, what was it, MK11, sold 15 million copies. 15 million. A lot of people thought the COVID and the lockdown had a lot to do with that because it was around that time. 15 million. So when you take that into the equation, and then you got MK1, like, oh, it's successful, but it didn't sell half. MK1 compared to MK11 was a fucking flop, you know what I'm saying? They're over here boasting about their numbers, which, let's be real, it's good numbers, but it's like nothing compared to the previous version. And to say that if Street Fighter and Tekken doesn't surpass it, I mean, I really can't argue with Tekken right now. Tekken is in a weird fucking spot. But let's go back to Street Fighter 6, because a lot of people really do believe that Street Fighter 6 is the best version of Street Fighter ever. So to say that if it doesn't reach what MK1 did, MK1 is the winner because it just appealed to more people, it's fucking wild to think about, because it's kind of true when you're just talking about sales. But how do we go from a game that's praised and adored and it's like thriving with competition, over 4,000 players, what was it, like 4,000 at EVO or something like that? A lot. Oh, just Vegas alone, right? And you got 300 for fucking MK at Vegas alone. So when you look at these numbers, you're like, how does any of this make sense? This game is thriving. People seem to love it. More people are coming to the party. Like I said, it's only a matter of time before their sales surpass MK1. But still, at the end of the day, if we're talking about today, your people in the NRS community are able to look at their game and be like, we win. We're the winners so far because we appeal to more. It just, man, it makes your mind work overtime, right? Because you're like, it just goes to show the power that Mortal Kombat has with the casual community. It's not obviously just FGC. FGC kind of quit on it a while ago as far as like numbers. But the casuals, the people don't really follow the community in FGC because Mortal Kombat is fucking Mortal Kombat. My nephews and stuff know nothing about the FGC, but they know more about Mortal Kombat because it's fucking Mortal Kombat. So it just has this mass appeal and this mass reach. Yes, it'll die in fucking 2 years and people are going to start complaining about it. It's fucking crazy. But they're going to get their money. And before we talk about some more money, because we have another content creator talking about this MK1 was actually a huge loss when it came to investment. We'll talk about that in a second. Kenny Baum actually continues talking about it's important how we choose how, I guess, the next MK operates. Check out the clip.
Ed Boon says, fighter poll feedback. MK11 had 3 combat packs, 6 fighters in pack 1, 3 fighters in pack 2, 3 fighters in pack 3. I don't think that's bad at all. I think that works, but again, we see what happened with Mortal Kombat 1. We could get those 6 fighters in year 1.
This is it.
They may follow up with those 3 fighters in year 2.
Ready,
but
go.
What happens if something happens where they got to cancel Christmas after year 2 like they did with Mortal Kombat 1 and we end up not getting the last 3 fighters? That's the scary thing about that to me. 6 fighters up front, great. Perfect. That makes year 1 a lot of fun. And 3 fighters could be a lot of fun for year 2 and 3 as well, but y'all know how y'all like to go. It really depends on how they release those 3 fighters, because a lot of you guys would be like, the game is dead, the game is dead on months when fighters aren't released. So if they did go with this model, I would rather just see 4 fighters year 1, 4 fighters year 2, and 4 fighters year 3. But the reason I wouldn't want to go with this model is because of what happened with Mortal Kombat 1. If we went with this in year 2, we would all be questioning if we're going to get those last fighters in year 3. Because of that, I think I would rather have the first 6 fighters up front in year 1 and just give us the second 6 fighters in year 2. Now, do you release 3 fighters in the same pack like you did with Chaos Reigns? I think it's a big benefit there because those 3 fighters could be involved in the story, and it kind of revitalizes the game with all of those fighters being added at the same time. Then again, it kind of lasts a lot longer if you split those 6 fighters out. So which one would y'all rather see?
Isn't that crazy on one hand to look at the math, to look at the numbers and be like, our game, MK1, is technically right now more successful than Street Fighter 6 when it comes to sales. We're just talking about sales. But then when you're talking about the future next MK game, you're like, we would rather just get them up front, like the DLC, because we don't know if the game will last past 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy to think about this game that does huge numbers, and we're constantly talking about the sales, the numbers, the casuals. Even Ed Boon, they love to brag about them numbers, right? But then at the same hand, your whole fucking following that truly follows the game is like, well, we would like to get it as soon as possible because the shit might not last 3 years. Because it usually doesn't. Like, that's the fucking legacy that your game has. Isn't that fucking crazy to think about? They're able to make so much money, so much profit, and the game doesn't even fucking breathe that long. You know, it's fucking crazy to think about. Meanwhile, Street Fighter 6, huge following, huge audience, huge love, you know what I'm saying? Huge respect from the community. It just gets stronger. And then wrapping it up right here, we have a content creator by the name of Loose Streets over here. Link down below for all the content creators. Definitely check them out. But he made an interesting point saying he thought that this version of MK was a flop compared to the last one with the investment and all that. Check out the clip.
Made me curious because I've been saying it's no way that the next game is going to be a Mortal Kombat game simply because you need to make back the money that you lost on Mortal Kombat 1. If we scroll back to the top, again, he said they had 6.2 million sales. And so that's nowhere near the success of Mortal Kombat 11. So some money was lost for sure. Mortal Kombat 11 sold 15 million copies, if I'm not mistaken. As a matter of fact, let's just Google it just to make sure I'm clear in this video. Let's just Google it. How much did MK11 sell?
15.
Let's see.
15 million.
Mortal Kombat 11 has sold over 50 million copies worldwide. It is the best-selling installment in the Mortal Kombat franchise. The last time WB Games and NetherRealm publicly shared sales figures for the entire franchise, it had surpassed 79 million copies. So of that 79 million, Mortal Kombat 11 had 15 million on its own. Mortal Kombat 1, your newest game, did 6.2. So essentially, Mortal Kombat almost did 3 times as much. I know 3 times would be 18, but you're about like 75 to 85% that way, but more than double of what this game sold. So clearly that's a true L going in the wrong direction. So my reason for wondering this is because when he made it a point to say NetherRealm DLC fighters, but I think that the next game has to be Mortal Kombat because they need to make their money back. What it also made me interested in, since he asked this question, I wanted to go back.
So he's saying he thinks it's going to be MK coming up next because they have to make the money back because this one was a flop basically compared to the last one. Now, this is me just spitballing. I don't think they need to make any money back because I think they still profited. If just because their last one was such a huge fucking success, like the best, right? Doesn't mean this one wasn't. It just means it wasn't as big as the last one. So take the last one, 15 million copies. From what Google is saying, it estimates they made somewhere like around 500 fucking million. What was it? Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. It was a crazy fucking number. Like, yeah, Mortal Kombat 11 was a highly successful game, reportedly generating over 500 million. And when you look how much money it made to like cost to produce that game with marketing, all that, they're estimating anywhere from 30 to 50 million dollars. 30 to 50 million dollars, and they made 500 million in profit. Obviously, that's a fucking W, right? This next one, it doesn't really give details, but it's guessing that the same amount of money cost for generating or producing MK1. So we're guessing $30 to $50 million. If that's the case, if this one only sold a little over 6 million, which is way below 15 million, you take what? That's about half plus some. So nowhere near 500 million did it generate, but we're guessing around 150. That's a rough guess. I could be way off, but I'm guessing numbers wise around the 150 million ballpark. Could be a little more, could be a little less. But still, if it only cost, well, not only, but you know, in the scheme of things, 30 to 50 million, they still made millions and millions and millions of fucking dollars in profit. So I don't think at the end of the day, they're like, oh shit, we're in the hole, like this is over. I don't think they have to make another MK game because they're already fucking so successful. Now, granted, take that with a grain of salt because I'm not the dev. I'm not WB, I'm not NRS, I'm not these guys to know exactly how it works. I'm just looking at the profit margins and being like, technically, they've already made their money and they keep fucking making their money, just like with the MK movie. That shit some consider was a big flop, but at the end of the day, it still grossed them like, what, plus $30 million? Some shit like that. So they look at it clearly as a win. So I don't know. Like I said, I obviously, compared to MK11, there's different factors, a different game, different time. Did not sell anywhere close to that. I just feel weird, and this could be me being a hater, because I love me some Street Fighter, you know what I'm saying? I feel weird just being on that train of like, yes, MK has more sales, so it's clearly better. Fucking how? You know what I'm saying? Fucking how? Because to me, and to like, you know, anybody with eyeballs and ears, you can clearly see Street Fighter 6 is way more impactful, has a bigger following, has a bigger lifespan, is doing more, is still growing more, and eventually is gonna surpass MK1, which I think rightfully so. That is Butt Check family. Definitely let me know how you are feeling. Appreciate the mad love. This will be the only video of the day because I am dead tired, but I will see you with one tomorrow. So thank you guys for the amazing love. As always, I don't know what it is. These numbers is making me hurt, making my head hurt, because either way, you still millionaires. Everybody's still millionaires. All right, can we get some of that money? That's what I'm saying. Can we get some of that? Not the 1%. No, not the 2%. Can we get a sprinkle of that money somehow? Just make it rain somehow. I don't know how y'all does how you want to do it. You can PayPal me. PayPal me, Cash App. I can meet you on the corner. Either way, let's get some money. Anyway, I don't know what it is, but I know I'm done ranting. It's about to get better. Love y'all forever. Peace.
Blah, blah, blah. Subscribe.